Welcome to the Triple Black MMA podcast. We're not here to take part, we're here to take over.
Alright, February 25th, Sunday, 4 p.m. We'll talk about, what was it, UFC Fight Night 28?
I don't remember the number.
I think it was 28. Stephens versus
Emmett.
Josh Emmett.
Mystic Black and Triple Aaron here again, featuring Thomas.
Hey everyone, what's up?
Alright, first fight of the night was Manny Bermudez making his debut against Albert Morales.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It was a good fight, start the night out. Bermudez was trying to strike the whole time. But then...
Really? He's a submission guy, too.
Yeah, exactly. Once it got to the mat, though, he was going for submission. From the bottom.
Yeah, they kind of compared his submissions to Brian Ortega. That he just kind of walks on suddenly. But, obviously a lesser version, because he's Ortega's top.
It took a while. He almost got knocked out once or twice. It was back and forth.
I think Morales is done, though. I think he's going to get cut. He's 1-4-1 in the UFC now. 3 straight losses.
Yeah, it's probably a wrap on him. Is what it is.
I mean,
he was entertaining.
He's fought good opponents, though. It's kind of the messed up thing about it. His losses were to Thomas Almeida, Brett Johns, and Benito Lopez before this.
Yeah, those are some...
They kind of screwed him, but oh well.
Good ass fighters.
Almeida's good.
I think Almeida's on the decline, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's looking real questionable.
Impressive debut for Bermudez, though. It'll be good to see what he can do.
Yeah, the Bermudez Triangle.
He's young, 23.
Yeah. He's got a lot of fighting ahead of him.
About Eric Shelton versus Alex Perez, who missed weight.
Alex Perez missed weight.
That was it.
It was a not entertaining fight, right?
Shelton ran away the whole time.
No mistake.
Yeah, and DC was announcing, and he was like, the whole third round, he's like, Shelton needs to plant his feet and try and go for the finish because he's already lost. He said it the whole round.
Yeah, I mean, plus he's a wrestler. He should have been pushing it.
Exactly.
Perez.
He just was there to collect a paycheck.
I think Shelton might be done too. I mean, he looked impressive on.
Yeah, because he gets 20% of Alex Perez's wage.
Yep.
Because he missed weight.
He looked impressive on The Ultimate Fighter, but now he's 1-3 in the UFC. I mean, his first 2 fights were close, split decision losses to Jared Brooks and Pantoja, but
yeah,
he
he
might get another chance.
He did not look good. That's all I'll say.
Probably the least exciting fight of the night, then.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what was the next fight?
Ronnie Yaya versus Russell Doan.
Yeah.
Russell's a sex addict, Doan.
That was a good one.
Was it?
Yeah, Yaya was, they kept talking about he's going to get the submission,
Yeah, he usually
And then he got the submission.
He usually either gets it first round or he's tired and they end up KOing him. Russell Doan,
he took his time.
Yeah, he looked a little more in shape.
Russell Doan saved his career in his last fight. He was coming off 4 straight losses. I think he came in on short notice and KO'd Kwan Ho Kwok in the first round.
Yeah.
But now he's back in the loss column. He might be done.
Yeah, because he kind of played right into Yaya's game. Not a very good game plan from him.
Yeah, I kind of expected it, except I expected it a little sooner. Sam Alvey moving up in weight, taking on Prachnio. Is that how they were saying it?
Yeah, I think they were calling him Prachnio.
So he was calling out for a fight, and they called his bluff basically and said, "You're gonna fight at 205," because he was like, "I'll fight whatever weight class, just give me a fight," or something like that.
Who?
pretty cool. Yeah,
Was good.
he's got a good attitude about him.
Yeah, he was hilarious in the post fight.
Yeah, he usually says some ridiculous.
But he looked good. He waited. The other guy waited for a minute, and then Sam Alvey threw some like kicks, threw a head kick that almost landed, and then Pragnio was fucking panicking, rushed in.
Yeah, I was working, so all I saw was the highlight of Pragnio just walking at him with his hands down. And
Yeah,
he got taught a lesson because he's gotten away with it in the past, but he needs to learn defense.
Especially fighting a guy like Sam Alvey, he's got power.
Yeah, a guy has power who's known for waiting and countering.
Yeah.
Don't walk at him with your hands down.
Yeah, well, that was after he'd already been knocked down.
That's true.
Smile at Sam Alvey.
How about the fight of the night? The first one I watched it while I was working in the...
Oh, yeah. Alan Jobin.
Alan Jobin versus
The
Ben
Brahma.
Saunders.
Yeah,
That
the
fight
Brahma.
was nuts.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
I knew it would be too. I had to turn in at fucking work and I was watching it on my phone.
Yeah, so was I because it wasn't on Fox yet. They played some.
So it was pretty exciting, even though it ended, almost halfway through.
Yeah, it was back and forth. Saunders definitely had his
It was
moments.
Ton of strikes, dude.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
threw
they
a
beat
ton
the hell
of
out of
strikes.
each other. They both have trained at 10th Planet, which is cool. And I saw them. Jobin posted a thing on Instagram afterwards showing respect to Saunders and thanking him for the fight. And Saunders reposted it, said pretty much the same. It's a great fight and great show of class and respect by both fighters, which is what I like to see.
You guys know where Jobin's from?
I forget.
Lafayette.
He's from Lafayette.
Represent.
Oh yeah, he trains at Black House too in California.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Joe.
Yep.
Cool.
Good to see him getting some wins again. Sucks for Ben Saunders, but he'll be back.
Yeah, he took beating.
And his chin might be gone. He's been getting KO'd a lot.
His leg, too.
Marina Moroz versus Angela Hill.
Angela Hill showed up. She put it on the other chick. I saw her face. It looked pretty bad.
Yeah, that fight was... Marina Rouse, dude, she throws all these strikes that don't do anything.
Well, she's a boxer.
I'm not completely convinced about Angela Hill.
No.
I know she's been trying to improve and whatnot.
She looked really
she's
impressive outside the UFC. She got some good wins in Invicta, won the title, and defended it, but her UFC career has been bad. She's looked awful. I mean, she won this fight, but Moroz definitely has holes in her game that kind of played right into the strengths of Angela Hill.
Yeah.
Moroz has no defense or footwork and no takedowns. She's got good boxing, but if you're at kicking range, she can't do anything. And then she's got dangerous submissions, but she can't get it to the ground. So she needs to...
Yeah, that's why the fight went to decision.
Yep. How about Marion Renault, though?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. I was picking Sarah McMahon to get the decision, get back on track.
Yeah, Renault's 40.
How old's McMahon?
She is the oldest fighter on this card.
McMahon's 37.
Dang.
I think McMahon's time as a top contender might be over now. She just doesn't have the submission defense.
Yeah, durability.
I guess
Because Renault dropped her before she submitted her.
I don't know. Shouldn't have been throwing hands either. Should have just kept taking her down and laying on her.
Yeah, because her takedowns were successful.
Of course, she's a Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, they're saying she
Olympic
won.
medalist.
She won the first round 10-8, and then came out in the second round and
Got finished.
Yeah.
Speaking of time as a contender being over, Henan Brow.
Yeah, him around, man. That was tough to watch.
I don't think he should have went back to bantamweight. I think he blew it.
What, you think he should have went up?
He did go up because they made him go up after he almost passed out, or he did pass out. That whole thing where the one fight got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
And he had 3 fights at featherweight. He had a fight with Jeremy Stephens that went to decision. It was unanimous for Jeremy Stephens, but I thought Brow did pretty well. And then he beat Felipe Nover. And then he lost to Aljamain, who kind of beat the shit out of him. And then he came back down and lost to Kelleher.
Yeah, I think when Dillashaw beat him, his career went from the top and then plummeted right there.
Pretty much. I mean...
Because since then, he hasn't been the same fighter. And, man, I couldn't believe he was still standing at the end of that fight.
When did...
he got lit up that entire last round.
I was thinking about it while watching him. When did the UFC bring in USADA?
Oh, do you think he's a ex-roider?
I think he might be. I mean, with the IV thing, too. The
yeah,
weight
when
cut.
they changed the IV rule.
He looks way slower than he used to. I mean...
Yeah, he does. His striking is
a
little more limited, too.
He would fucking hit hard, and now he doesn't hit as hard, and he's slower.
Yeah, his variety's down.
He's only 31.
It's like a whole different fighter.
Yeah, and he's only 31, so it's not like...
Yeah, he's not like he's old. He should be prime right now.
And he's not.
Yeah, he's...
That dude, Kelleher, he's from Oceanside.
Yeah, Kelleher's been pretty impressive during his UFC time. Anyway, on to the main card. Mike Perry lost.
I'm not terribly surprised by this. The other fighter is longer, faster, and used that to his advantage.
You know, I wasn't too surprised by it either, but I was picking Perry just because the stupid shit he says usually gets into people's head and they want to knock him out and they start brawling with him. And then, I mean, the guy's so dumb, you can't knock him out. And he hits hard as hell, so if you get into a brawl with him, that's not the way to win. Max Griffin stayed disciplined throughout the whole fight, worked his game plan, and just kept working him all through all 3 rounds. It was smart. It was good to watch.
Yeah,
so you would say he's more technical overall than Perry?
Definitely more technical and more disciplined. And, you know, now Colby Covington's calling out Mike Perry for, your girlfriend's your main trainer, and yelling break the leg or some shit during the fight. And I think Covington's a bitch for calling out someone coming off a loss, but...
I think that Colby Covington does not have his head screwed on straight at this point. Like, everything he's done has backfired on him. His image is tattered pretty good.
He's just trying to get people to care, and it just seems like no one cares. One way or the other.
That's not going to get him a fight anytime sooner, you know?
Yeah, for real. He needs to take a fight because he's wanting Tyron. Tyron doesn't want it. The UFC doesn't want it. The fans don't want it. He's not getting it. I mean, Tyron's talking about Nate Diaz. The UFC's talking about Dos Anjos. Like, Covington's not even in the picture. Take a fight with all these guys you're talking shit about, but you won't even go close to.
Yeah, Usman called out Mike Perry today on Twitter.
You mean Covington? He called out Covington.
Covington, yeah, sorry. About Mike Perry.
If they do match up Woodley with Dos Anjos, do you think Dos Anjos can beat Woodley, or is that just kind of a goofy thought?
No, I think he can beat him.
I think it's a good fight.
But then Woodley's going to turn into a decision.
I don't see Dos Anjos as powerful as Woodley, but I do see him putting out the volume that could at least tire out Woodley. Is he better submission Woodley, but he has wrestling, so it would be a really good matchup.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good fight. I think those are the top 2 guys right now at welterweight that haven't fought each other, so that's the fight to me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I was hoping that Wonderboy Thomas Thompson would end up back in the mix, but I don't know if his hand is good still or what happened to that after he fought last.
Yeah, I don't,
So
plus I don't think the UFC wants to match him against Woodley again because of how terrible the first two fights were.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, like, let's put it this way. Woodley is also a very light fighter because of his fighting style. The only time that he had a really sensational outing was against Lawler, and where he knocked him out, and it was pretty easy. But, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, he had a few before that too where he knocked people out, but his main problem it's been is him backing up. He backs himself into the cage, and fighters can't exploit that. I mean, Rory McDonald did it pretty perfectly. He backed him into the cage, and he beat the hell out of him.
Yeah. He's too safe, I think, and especially as a champ, you know. Yeah, you defended, but, I mean, like, Damian Maia is not that great of a challenger. Like, yeah, he's an amazing submission artist, but
He's another guy like what I was saying with Moreau is like there's no real threat in striking and there's no real threat of the takedown. The only threat is if he gets you on the ground, and he doesn't really have the ability to get it there, especially against a guy with the wrestling of Tyron. So
yeah. That's why it was such a boring, I mean, it was just such a boring matchup just to watch. That technically not, of course, you know, if you understand all those aspects, yeah, it's not boring, but I mean, it's just a pretty neutral fight.
yeah, especially with the casual fans that don't understand all that shit. They just want to see a fight, and that's not selling any tickets or bringing in viewers. But something needs to happen
So
to
what do you guys
welterweight. I mean,
What do you guys think of this submission? I saw Oven St. Preux. He looked like he pretty much got put out by that.
oh yeah, he got choked unconscious. That was crazy.
Yeah. I think it was right for Latifi to call out Daniel Cormier, but
I mean, he did kind of put himself in the title picture, but he needs, I think, another fight.
he needs to look elsewhere, because like I think eventually he'll be right up there and having an opportunity to pull it off. But I mean, he's not going to fight Daniel Cormier.
Yeah, I don't know. His call out of Cormier was a little weird. I think he needs to get another fight in. I'm looking at the top, and it's, Gustafson's at 1 and Ozdemir at 2, and it's saying Ozdemir and Teixeira are both 2, which is weird. And then Manoa is 4. OSP was 5. So Gustafson's probably trying to fight Rockhold. Manoa's up there, and Teixeira and Ozdemir. I think he needs to fight one of them. In the meantime, while Cormier
Teixeira have a fight?
Teixeira does not have a fight that I've heard of. Does Manoa have a fight? Well, Manoa trains with him, so I guess that wouldn't be the fight to make. Teixeira just KO'd Misha Sirkunov. That'd be a fight.
Yeah, that'd be alright.
Did they fight already? I don't think so, right?
I can see Latifi moving up to like 6.
Yeah, he'll probably move up to like 5 or 6 after this win.
Yeah, because he dominated OSP.
Yeah, and he hasn't fought with Teixeira hasn't fought with you. That would make sense.
Came out, outstruck him, and then submitted
So,
him crazily.
Latifi and Teixeira, that would be a pretty good fun fight.
Yeah, I think that's the next fight. Which is also what Sherdog's saying should be the next fight for him.
That's hilarious.
How about Andrade?
I don't know wins up there like that. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
You know, he had all those wins and his only loss is to Cormier, so whatever. And he's up there too because the people who make the rankings for the UFC are a bunch of clowns.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you look at this sometimes, but just based off of this list.
Man, I'll tell you what, too, the guys at EA that made the rankings for the game are a bunch of clowns, too. I saw McGregor had, like, when they were posting the pictures before it came out, McGregor had a higher stamina rating than Demetrius Johnson. Like, that's insanity.
Whoa. Yeah, that is absolute garbage.
Anyway, how about the Andrade versus Torres fight?
I thought that Tisha Torres did a phenomenal job against this little tank of a female, but ultimately she didn't have enough in her toolbox to stifle that forward momentum that Andrade, and then, you know, when she was able to close the distance, she just tossed her around. It was just
slammed her a bunch of times.
Yeah, it was impressive because Torres started the fight really well. She was moving good and hitting Andrade pretty hard. And then, you know, when I was like, man, it's looking bad for Andrade, and I kind of walked away because I was still working, and I come back, and, you know, Andrade just closed the gap, took those shots, and kept coming.
Yeah. I thought that maybe Tisha Torres could have won the first round, but they gave all the rounds to Andrade. I guess it's just because of the takedown, ultimately.
Yeah, they probably scored it heavy on the top control and slams.
So what's next for Andrade?
Probably a title shot.
I think so.
She should be next in line.
But what if Joanna beats Rose?
I don't see that happening again, to be honest.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, if
so.
Joanna's champion again, and do we want to see her fight Andrade again?
Well, who would she fight then?
I don't know. It's a good question.
See, for me, that's why I was a little bit disappointed they hastily made the rematch, because they didn't let the division air out properly enough.
Yeah, I think Andrade should have got the title shot versus Rose, and they could have done Tisha versus Joanna. That fight's never happened. Two strikers could have been good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I know. We've seen this time and time again where someone loses that had held the title for plenty of time, and then they let them get a return crack at it just for the sake. But
I mean, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it doesn't.
So, but I think to see Rose and Andrade fight would be really fun. It would be a good test for Rose. She would maybe lose, though.
I think she might lose.
She might lose because I don't think she'd stop the slams.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if she could kind of use the footwork that Tisha did to move away and land shots, and then if she did get taken down, you know, she's known for her submissions, flying triangle and shit.
Yeah, that's the question. Is she strong enough standing?
Strength.
You know,
I'm more interested in that fight. I'm more interested in that fight than I am in Rose Joanna too.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, because we haven't seen Joanna come back from that knockout.
Yeah.
I think that would have, if you would have let her come back from the knockout, say she fought Tisha and won, then I would have been more interested to see her fight Rose again.
I don't think that. I just don't think Joanna is, unless she does some serious fixing of whatever it was that put her in that place. I don't think that she's gonna win.
Well, you know, she had her excuses for whatever. She didn't cut weight properly, or she was injured, or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
But I think Rose just kind of saw a gap in the defense there and exploited it early.
So, all right, I'm gonna go there because I know that we were all thinking about it. I'm gonna say illegal strike.
I would disagree.
I'm gonna say that the ref didn't do a good enough job in that instance. He was standing way far away. He wasn't up there. It took him too long to get over there.
Yeah.
And even though initially Emmett was trying to fight to get back up, he was pretty disoriented. The safer thing, and trust me, I'm taking this somewhere. The safer thing would have been to make the proper assessment and stop the fight. And so in the way of someone like Stephens, whose main objective is to hurt the guy, whether he wins or not, right? Like he said that before.
Yeah, he kind of said it for his last fight too, because the ref dove in on his last fight on Duho, and he ended up elbowing the ref in the back of the head. And it wasn't intentional. The ref was there doing his job. But that's what he said. I'm there to put people out, and I don't stop until it's over.
So you know exactly where I'm taking this, and that's why I think in these instances, when they've got a fighter like this, they have to be extra on their game. It's their job. It's their job. Keep them safe. We want to see them fight. We want to see something sensational, but there's no reason to add extra damage. Because I would love to see this guy keep fighting.
I don't know. When I saw
how old is it?
What immediately I thought of was the fight that I criticized should have been a no contest. The Curtis Blades versus Alexei Oleinik. He threw an illegal strike, and it didn't really land, but the fight was stopped from that. So therefore, I think that should have been a no contest. If the ref would have stopped the fight when this knee was thrown, I would have said no contest too, but he didn't, so he got knocked out cleanly, and I think the win stands for Jeremy Stephens.
So so it's not likely going to get changed. I mean, they may.
We're having a little technical difficulty there. Skype cutting out.
Skype cut out?
Yeah, you're back though.
Okay. So, what was I saying?
You were talking about how the fight wasn't stopped.
Oh, alright, so how many extra shots did he get in? Basically, two solid extra shots. That was my reasoning why I kept saying that adamantly the ref did a poor job.
I think he did a little bit, but when I watched it in slow-mo, the knee kind of missed, and Emmett goes to stand up, and Stephens hits him with another shot behind the ear, which was what dropped him to his back, and then he KO'd him with the fucking elbow.
Two.
Yeah, two brutal elbows.
Yeah. Well, I know I talked to Aaron about this last night, after it happened and all that, and we were going back and forth, but I still stand by my thoughts on it. In these instances, the refs need to do a better job. Let's look at Mario Yamasaki, for example, right? That was another prime example of when the refs should have been. He should have been doing a better job. Just
that one was bad.
So, but it was a great fight. I thought that Emmett had a lot of ground at first, and then Stephens just came out of nowhere.
I was surprised. Yeah, Emmett knocked him down in the first round, and
it was pretty even.
Stephens isn't a guy that's easily rocked either. So,
right. really enjoyed the way that Emmett was moving against Stephens too. Stephens just looked like he was standing there. He didn't have a lot of movement compared to the way that Emmett was moving, and he had those nice angles. Like he would move in, and then he would move to the left, and then he was using that in a really interesting way to get strikes in. I was like, man.
Yeah, his striking reminds me a little bit of Faber's, but with a little more power and a little more variety.
Yeah. I'm a little bit disappointed in Team Alpha Male, though, overall, in recent times.
Yeah, they've been taking some losses.
Yeah, Sage Northcutt won, though.
Sage Northcutt won, but I don't even... He's...
Aaron, come on, man. Don't say that. That's not really worth talking about.
Team Alpha Male.
Yeah,
he has looked a little bit better, but
he won. It wasn't that exciting. He got lucky on he's the face of young UFC. So, but
yeah, highest ratings of the night was when he was fighting.
I hate to say it, but I think that Team Alpha Male is a little bit one dimensional.
Well, you know what it is their game hasn't changed all that much. Their striking,
right.
They install it into pretty much all their guys. Their submissions, they're known for the guillotine and the wrestling. And, I mean, that all of them have it, and it's all top level. But once you know that that's what it is, you can kind of work to counter that. I think they need to bring in a new coach, at least one or two.
So, okay, so in that sense, it's not one-dimensional, but overall, if you're looking at it like that, it's the same...
Yeah, you know,
and
like the blueprint of a alpha male fighter.
Yeah.
What's next for Jeremy Stephens, boys?
Jeremy Stephens?
He's talking about a title shot.
Again,
it'd be against Holloway, but there's a line.
He'd jump Frankie Edgar, Brian Ortega.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting the title shot. I mean, the Frankie Edgar Brian Ortega fight's got to happen, and the winner of that's going to get Holloway.
So
I'm super excited for that fight.
Yeah, that fight's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting matchup because, you know, Frankie's going to want to stand. I don't know. I hate to say it. I think it's going to end up a lot like how it was when Ortega took on Cub Swanson.
It could. Frankie's quick, though, and, you know, he's got that in and out. I expect him to try and kind of do the same thing he did to BJ Penn when he won the lightweight title. Just kind of stick and move and circle around him like a bee.
Yeah, kind of just box him.
Box him and stay on, keep moving in and out. Don't let him get close to you. Don't let him grab you. Don't let him hit you.
Yeah, he'll decision him.
Yeah.
I see that fight.
Especially
going Frankie Edgar.
It's only 3-round fight.
Yeah,
so,
it's not 5 champion rounds. So.
But I mean, all Ortega needs is one opportunity, one mistake to grab a hold of his neck, and it's over.
I don't know if it'd be over.
Frankie's good. He's got the defense.
I think he's got some good top level defense. I don't know.
But
I don't see a finish, but if it is, holy shit.
You could almost plug in Cub Swanson's name in that I'm not trying to say that they're the same kind. They're the same exactly. But what I'm saying is the characteristics of those fighters, those veteran fighters, and look at what he did. And dude, Cub Swanson's black belt jiu-jitsu. How did he let that happen?
Yeah, well, I don't know. He kind of blew it. He panicked a little bit. He was messing Ortega up on the feet, and then, you know, once he felt how strong Ortega was, he panicked and he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think you'll ever see anything like that out of Frankie. You know, he's got the composure in a fight that no one else has. I mean, look what he did against Gray Maynard. He got rocked hard and he's still right back in it.
I agree with you. I think Frankie Edgar will take it much further, and he can stretch it out. He'll test Ortega much more than Cub Swanson did. I will still pick Ortega if we're doing fight predictions. But
let's say either one of them. Either one of them. How do you think either one of them matches up against Max Holloway?
Well, considering Holloway tends to stay upright, and wants to do it that way, we don't know what he's capable of on the ground, other than, obviously he can do the ground and pound type thing if he has to.
And he's shown he's got good takedown defense, and he can get up somewhat.
Yes. So, but my point being with that is, I think a better matchup for him is still Frankie Edgar, because I'll go so far as to say that even though Holloway is the champ, that he would fight up to Edgar, just because, he's more. Edgar's more veteran fighter, right? Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but Ortega, I still think that if he got a hold of Holloway, that he would submit him. It's just different. I mean, unless we'll prove otherwise, I have to see it. I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, Ortega's, like you said, it's just different when he's grabbing a hold of you compared to anyone else. It's something else.
It's top level.
I love it. It's fun. It's so cool to watch. It really is. So,
I think I might favor either one of them, though, going against. I agree with you that I think Holloway matches up better against Edgar, but I think I still might favor Edgar in a matchup against Holloway.
Yeah.
We never decided what was next for Jeremy Stephens, though. I think he's got some options. It's not the title shot, but I see Sherdog saying he should fight Chan Suk Jung, which I don't really agree with.
Yeah, unless it's going to happen, really soon.
Yeah, unless they can just put it together real quick, then I'll be like, it is what it is. But I think Darren Elkins is on a 6-fight win streak, and he's a teammate of Emmett, and Alpha Male's not too happy about that loss, and they've had a long rivalry with Jeremy Stephens' camp, too, because of Faber and Dominic Cruz. So I think that would be a fun one. He can also fight Aldo.
So I think that would be the best case. Now, when he got down on his knees and was like, "Dana, please give me a title shot," right? I think the UFC might just throw him a bone and be like, "Okay, you want a title shot? Fight Jose Aldo first and see if you can get through him."
Yeah.
There's talk of Aldo going to lightweight, though, so...
Right. Okay, so subtract Edgar and Ortega from the top 5. And so you got Jose Aldo.
You got Aldo, Emmett, who he just beat, and Cub Swanson, who's coming off a loss.
Right? So...
It's Aldo.
And that's what he was talking about last night. Oh, there's 2 guys ahead of me, la-di-da-da. Well, no, there's more guys ahead of you, but if you really
Chan Sung Jung's ahead of him, but that doesn't make sense.
He's not going to get a title shot yet. He's got to go through at least one more guy.
I think he moves up top 5 easily with this win, though, because, I mean, they threw Emmett in top 5, who just beat Lamas, and, I mean, Jung's coming off one win over Bermudez, who's not ranked anymore. And then Lamas just got beat by the guy he just beat, so he's going to be in top 5. I think he'll probably be number 4, right behind Aldo, Edgar, and Ortega.
Well, you could say that Emmett was trailblazing a little bit until last night. He was doing some power knockout stuff that was making him look pretty strong. And he's neutral now, so
yeah,
I
I see what you're saying, though. The only guy ahead of him really would be Aldo. That would make sense.
Yeah. And no matter what, he's not going to get a title shot anyways, because Max Holloway has got unfinished business with Frankie Edgar. So, okay, that's why this division is complicated, because Holloway's hurt right now. He's got to recover, number 1, right? So he's not going to fight anytime soon. You're not going to see him fight until, second half of the year, right? Now, once Frankie Edgar and Brian Ortega pan out, they could give him one of those guys even though he fought 2 times quite recently, just because he got hit pretty hard yesterday. So, you know.
And the UFC has how many divisions now? It's 1, 2. They have 12 divisions. And you know how many titles have set fights? 3. 3 of the 12. Amanda Nunes is going to be fighting Pennington, which I'm not too excited about. Cyborg is going to be fighting another bantamweight. And Rose is going to be fighting Joanna again. Oh, sorry, it was 4 because Stipe is fighting DC. But then that holds up light heavyweight. Whitaker's injured. Tyron isn't fighting anybody. Connor isn't fighting anybody. Holloway's injured. TJ is trying to fight Demetrius, but that fight ain't real. And then so those two, like, man, they need to start getting going here.
Yeah, everything's falling apart.
Is to deliver the most exciting year they've ever had as far as UFC is concerned, because it's their
Injuries are stopping them.
25th.
There's 2 injuries, man.
Conor McGregor's stopping them.
Conor McGregor stopping a couple injuries, and then idiots, man. I'm a big
tired.
I'm a big TJ fan.
Yeah, TJ.
But at the same time, like, you just got your belt back. Defend it. There's people waiting. Demetrius, there's a couple guys he hasn't fought that could be interesting.
Doubt it.
TJ did,
I mean, Cejudo's improved.
Cruz is what needs to happen. Who cares about Cody Garbrandt?
Yeah, it's not Cody. It's either Dominic Cruz or it's Jimmy Rivera.
I say Jimmy.
Assunção? No? Did he beat Assunção?
He beat his Assunção. He lost to him before, but then he came back and he beat his Assunção.
Yeah, I remember now.
So, I mean, it's either Rivera, who's on a win streak and is available, or it's Dominic Cruz, who was injured and
wasn't he about to fight Jimmy Rivera?
I think so.
He's starting to get back at it. He was talking about how he's wanting to fight. So
yeah, but he was about to fight Jimmy Rivera, and then he got injured. So
he broke his arm.
Give Jimmy Rivera the title shot.
Yeah. He stayed healthy, had a fight, and the guy that was supposed to fight him pulled out.
Didn't Houssein
or he was injured?
The reason why they haven't announced a fight, the true reason they haven't announced a fight, is because Dillashaw was like, I want to fight Demetrius Johnson no matter what. So he put all his cards on the table. Demetrius Johnson's camp was like, look, UFC, you make it right, and then I'll agree to it. And so that's what it is. That's what it actually is right now.
Yeah, well,
it does
I mean, Demetrius declined the fight before because he said, "Oh, TJ's not even a champion, and now he's a champion. So make it a super fight. Make it a champion, and pay me like it's a super fight."
He's saying, okay, so it's possible. Just make the right circumstances for it, and essentially they're trying to negotiate it properly for DJ, which makes sense. But I don't know. Dillashaw, I don't know. I like him. He's a good fighter. I like him more than Cody Garbrandt, that's for sure, and Dominic Cruz, that's for sure. But I don't think he's that deserving of a fight against Demetrius Johnson. I think,
like I said, he just got his title back. You got to defend it. Don't hold up the division again.
Okay, so let's talk about divisions that are held up, because you've got. Okay, so flyweight, there's nothing happening in flyweight just because.
Well, the only 2 people I see that could get a title shot there are Henry Cejudo, which he's already crushed, but I mean he's put together some good wins since then, or Houssein Formiga, who he's never fought and is coming off back-to-back wins, just beat Ben Wynn. Now those are the only 2.
Be a good fight. That might be a really good fight, but my point is that division there's not much going on there. Now bantamweight, obviously, that's a little bit goofy, just because Dillashaw's like, I want to fight outside of the division.
He wants to fight outside, and Garbrandt doesn't deserve it, but he's wanting one. Dominic's injured. Sun Tzu is up there, but he doesn't deserve a title shot yet. Rivera's up there. I think he could get a title shot. But Marlon Moraes, who's at 5, is calling him out. And wants that fight.
That's a good fight.
Those are the top 3 guys right there. Dominic Cruz, Jimmy Rivera, Marlon Moraes. All 3 of them are trying to get a title shot.
Yeah, they all deserve one. Dominic
So then
Cruz.
if you're looking at featherweight, right? Featherweight, obviously, champ's injured. So you've got a stay over fight in Edgar and Ortega, which is luckily for everyone a really good matchup.
Yeah, that's a crazy fight. And I don't know. I mean, featherweight line is forming. You know, the winner of that's next, and then probably Jeremy Stevens is after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's already three divisions that more or less they're held up. Like there's no forward motion. I mean, yeah, sometimes things are switching here and there, and fighters are doing things, but let's look at the worst one of them all in lightweight, because that one's just a complete joke right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, is Conor stripped or isn't he? Is this fight between Tony Ferguson and Habib for a real title, or is it for this bullshit one title that Tony holds?
And it doesn't matter, because if Conor comes back, he's going to fight for the title no matter what.
Oh, yeah. Instant title shot.
I see, like, they say, oh, yeah, he's stripped, but no, he's not stripped yet. And I tell you, he's not going to get stripped until they weigh in successfully. It's not going to be fully official.
Yeah, we mentioned that last week.
Yeah, we mentioned that last week, but, I mean, then you go to welterweight that we also talked about last week. There's still been no movement. There's no...
Yeah, nothing.
Tyron hasn't accepted a fight with no one. I mean, then you got Stephen Thompson, which I don't think has a fight. Dos Anjos is the next guy that should be fighting Tyron. Covington doesn't have a fight. Lawler doesn't have a fight. Damian Maia, I don't think, has a fight. Jorge Masvidal doesn't have a fight. Darren Till doesn't have a fight. Usman doesn't have a fight. That's the top 8 guys.
What do you guys know about McGregor offering to fight Edgar?
Yeah, I heard about that.
He said it.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't pay him.
He said it, man.
He said it. I mean, it sounded like he probably said it and he wanted some kind of ungodly amount of money for it, and they didn't want to pay him, so...
That's all it ever comes down to with him.
I mean, you know, he gets a pretty large share of the pay-per-view shares, too, so he's probably asked too much for just his base pay. And
yeah.
Is what it is.
So for me, Ferguson, I mean, I don't know. I don't think much about that division right now. And, yeah, he's all butthurt because, like, I'm the champ. I am the champ. Well, a lot of people don't think that, pal.
Yeah, you are, kinda. You have a
You
belt.
better swallow that.
Yeah, but he beat Kevin Lee.
Yeah, he beat Kevin Lee for that belt, not Conor McGregor, so...
Yeah, you beat... What was he ranked? Like...
he's ranked 7 now.
Yeah, I was going to say. He was, like... Maybe top 5.
Which I never thought he should have been top 5.
I think at the time that they fought, I think he was ranked higher than Dustin Poirier. But
I mean, I think you might be right, but at the time, like, it still doesn't make sense. The guys he beat, Trinaldo, who's ranked like 15, I don't think he's ranked anymore. Magomed Mustafayev, which not ranked.
Yeah.
He beat Jake Matthews before that, not ranked. Efrain Escudero, not even in the UFC. And he beat Michael Chiesa, who's ranked 9. So I don't
Michael
think...
Chiesa, that's a funny one.
Yeah, he's about to fight.
Yeah, him versus Showtime should be interesting.
Guy's coming off losses.
And then so if you move over and take a glance at welterweight, right? Well, that one obviously.
Yeah, I just said the top 8 guys don't have fights.
Yeah, I would say it's less jacked up than lightweight, but I mean.
It is, but there needs to start being some move. I mean, Neil Magny just won, so he's kind of like a exception. But then Ponzinibbio's calling out Donald Cerrone, who's coming off 1 win in his last 4 fights, And, I mean, what happened to, the winner of that fight's going to fight Darren Till? What's he scared now? He's calling out a guy who wants to go back to lightweight, and Darren Till was calling out a guy coming off a loss in Mike Perry, and now he's coming off 2 losses. Like, nah, Darren Till should fight Ponzinibbio for the, get them up into the number 1 contender spot. Yeah. And Covington should probably take the fight with Usman.
Yeah, that would be the fight.
Those are the two fight, and then those are 2 major welterweight fights to make right there. Cerrone's ranked 11. He should go back to lightweight probably. Condit's fighting Matt Brown.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Gunnar Nelson doesn't have a fight. Stun Gun Kim doesn't have a fight.
I want to see Gunnar fight again. He's overdue.
Yeah, he's had a long time since he fought.
He got that terrible eye poke and shit from Ponzinibbio.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I was watching an interview with him, which I found to be very interesting, because it was a while since he'd done that, It was an MMA podcast, right? And he was basically saying, in the time that it was happening, he didn't feel like that was illegal or la-di-da-di-da, whatever. But then someone convinced him to go back and look at it later on, and then he realized, wow, that was pretty illegal. The eye poke in, and then so he's not the only guy. We've talked about this before. He's not the only guy that said Ponzinibbio. He's sly, getting away with it. So
yeah, that's kind of why I'd like to see him fight Darren Till. Hopefully, Darren Till would kind of make him pay for that.
Knock him out.
I think Darren Till might annihilate him.
I think you got Gunnar Nelson coming off 2 losses. Here is what I'm looking at. I mean, coming off 2, he was 2 wins, and then he lost to Ponzinibbio, and that was in July. The guy ranked below him is Stun Gun Kim, who was coming off 3 wins, and then lost to Colby Covington in June. So I think that's probably the fight. They haven't fought, right?
Stun Gun.
Yep. Gunnar Nelson versus Dong Yong Kim.
That's a good one.
Looking at this current list, I can't believe that Colby Covington is sitting at 3rd in the rank.
Yeah, that's wild.
Who is he beating? I mean, when was his last fight, too?
He beat Damian Maia, but Damian Maia made his face look pretty cut up.
That was his big win, and then he beat Dong Yong Kim before that.
It was
if you look before that, he beat Brian Barberena, and the guy who just beat Mike Perry, and he beat Jonathan Munier, who I don't even know if he has a win in the UFC.
Mm-hmm. Still unproven.
Whatever, yeah, he can be there for now.
Yeah,
he needs to take a fight.
Yeah, he could be a top dude.
When was it?
They ranked him.
When was that last fight that he had against Mina? That was in October.
Yeah.
We're going on 4 months now.
Yeah, he should be ready for a fight.
Well, he's been saying for a while that he was ready for a fight. I don't think that's the issue. I think that he just...
It's about who will fight. Because he doesn't want a couple of these matchups.
He screwed up. His image got in the way of himself. He got in the way of himself. I don't know. But if you go and you take a look at middleweight, right? Obviously, Whitaker, he damn near died.
Yeah, Whitaker was hospitalized with that whole thing, and then the guy he beat, Romero, gets a fucking win, and it's back in the picture.
Yeah.
That one's not too bad, though, because, I mean, Whitaker's the champ, Romero's at 1, who he already beat, and then Souza's about to fight Kelvin. So, I mean, the winner of that could jump over Romero and get a title shot.
Yeah, especially the way the fight goes.
Yeah, if, say, one of them finishes the other one in the first round.
What you guys are saying is that even though Yoel did a phenomenal job against Rockhold, he's not going to get a title shot.
Well, I think the UFC came out and said he will.
Yeah, I think they said they're going to give him a title shot. It's not what I would like to see, though.
Dana White came out and said they'll just give it to him.
I'm not a Romero fan. I think he's a dirty fighter.
He's a little dirty, but it is what it is. I think that's just his style.
Yeah, dirty.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want to see...
No, I'm a Tim Kennedy fan. He robbed him, so... Speaking of Tim Kennedy, though, you guys heard about his new show? It's called Hard to Kill, and they put him in situations where, like, he could die. Like, one of them's he's in an airplane that's on fire, and I heard he got like 3rd-degree burns from it. And they put him in like an avalanche and some other crazy shit where like they're trying to kill Tim Kennedy basically, and they can't.
They can't.
That's the whole show. I kind of want to watch it. Whoa. Anyway, then you got light heavyweight. That's you know, the champs fighting at heavyweight, and there's no real contenders there at the time. And then so that ties up heavyweight too. And the women's divisions are more active at the top right now than the men's.
That makes women's more exciting.
It
Less
does, yeah.
Controversy. More movement.
Yeah, they're all just wanting to fight, I think.
Well, what do you guys think, like, about that in terms of their decision to make the Cormier-Miocic super fight? When is it supposed to happen?
It's in July.
Yeah, the International Fight Week, right?
Yeah. I kind of like it.
It's alright.
Should be a good fight, but at the same time, like... No, that makes sense. I'm looking at the rankings here, like... There's no one, really, that Cormier needs to fight.
Yeah.
There's not a single contender there that jumps out to me like, oh, he should fight that guy. The only one he hasn't fought in the top 5 is, like, Glover or Manilon. I think he smacks either one of them.
He would crush both of those guys.
And so neither one of those are interesting fights. And then, like, at heavyweight, Miocic beat Ngannou. He beat Overeem. He beat Verdum. Velasquez is there, but, I mean, he's way off right now with an injury.
I think that Cormier could beat Francis Ngannou.
Cormier? Yeah.
He could wrestle the shit out of him.
Although I don't think
I
think he might take the fight now, but at the time he was saying, I'm not fighting Ngannou, you know, I don't want that heavyweight title shot, because I think he thought the same as everyone else that Ngannou was going to win.
Yeah.
And if Ngannou win, I don't think we're seeing that fight.
No.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably one of the best matchups that they have created in recent times because of the fighters' backgrounds, I think. It might be a boring fight, though, if they're just wrestling the shit out of each other.
It might. But I don't think it will be.
I don't know. I think they're going for the finish.
Yeah.
But
honestly,
who knows?
I think Miocic will beat Cormier. That's just my forecast.
Nah, I'm going with DC.
Yeah, I'm sticking with DC all the way. I'm not a Miocic fan, but I think he's got a good chance. But at the same time, I don't know.
So if they didn't come up with this fight, I think Gustafsson would have been a perfectly decent matchup for Cormier, because I think that would
They already fought,
the
though.
light heavyweight division right back in to play, you know.
That's the thing is, I think that's why they made it. Is you would have had to give Cormier Gustafsson, which they've already fought, it's a rematch, and I think you would have had to give Stipe Verdum, and that's a rematch too. So instead of doing 2 rematches, they did the super fight, and I think Verdum, you know, he's fighting Volkov, and probably Gustafsson fights Rockhold in the meantime. That makes sense.
I said this the last time, and I will say it once more. I'll keep playing with the idea of this, but I think that Curtis Blades should have been given an opportunity to fight Stipe, because, well, Velasquez is not anywhere near fighting shape at all, and everyone else, why not? But that's just, if you're looking at it in a logical way, what would seem to make most amount of sense. But,
yeah, those are the top 2 guys that Miocic has never fought, Velasquez and Blades, and I think you probably give Verdum maybe the next shot if he beats Volkov, and then Blades should probably fight Velasquez. I mean, you bring Velasquez back, have him fight Curtis Blades, and
Pretty good fight, actually.
That would be a fun matchup to see. Young versus, that.
Although the problem with that is Curtis Blades is wanting to get a pretty quick turnaround. He wants to be main event of UFC Chicago. It's coming up. And his teammate Jose Torres wanting to get on there too. They're both from Chicago, and I think UFC should sign him.
Did Blades fight Lewis? Derek Lewis? They haven't fought yet, have they?
No, they haven't fought yet. That would make sense too.
I guess it would make sense, but I don't think it would make as much sense for Curtis Blades as it would for Derek Lewis. But I mean, in terms of just matchups, it would be a decent matchup.
And it would make. I mean, Derek Lewis has got a lot of fans because of the crazy shit he says and the way he fights, and it would make sense. I could see that. Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, main event, UFC Chicago.
Which is
I want to see. I want to see Blades fight more for sure. So, what do you guys think about this event upcoming next week?
June 9th, by the way, for UFC Chicago. Next week, it's pretty good, I think.
Next week.
The main card, at least, is pretty good.
Yeah, start from the bottom.
The first fight's Jordan Johnson versus Adam Milstead, who's moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight. That's a pretty good fight. Jordan Johnson's undefeated and has looked pretty good. He's one of the only real young prospects in light heavyweight.
Yeah.
And Milstead has a chance to get in there and get in the mix too.
Hey, you guys know where Jordan Johnson's from?
Where?
Richmond.
Richmond?
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn, some good fighters coming out of California now.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun fight. Hopefully it can be tuned in for that one. I don't want to miss it. I don't know much about the fighter, so I wouldn't pick, but just like to watch it. It sounds like it would be good.
That'll probably be a good fight. Yeah, the next fight's pretty good too. Brian Caraway's fighting Cody Stamann, who's undefeated in the UFC and has looked really good. He just took out Tom Duquesnoy.
Nice.
That's a good fight. Gives Stamann an opportunity too, because Caraway's ranked number 7 and Stamann's not ranked yet.
Caraway's been going for a while, yeah.
You know, he lost his girl to.
He lost his girl.
I think he's been, had some time away to cry, and now he's back.
Oh man.
Anyway.
The tears have stopped and he's back fighting a guy unranked, so he might cry again. Anyway, Mike Powell versus Zach Otto. I think that's a sort of a loser leaves town fight. Mike Powell's a veteran, but he's coming out with multiple losses, and Otto's I think like 2-2 in the UFC.
Yeah.
It's not very exciting to me.
Yeah. Next.
They should have. Why is that the main event for the Fight Pass early prelims over Caraway versus Stamann when Caraway's ranked?
Yeah, that's wild.
That's crap.
Screwing Caraway.
First fight on FS1 will be CB Dalloway versus Hector Lombard.
There you go. That's a good way to start it.
Hector Lombard. Shut up! It's pretty good. Dalloway's talking about he has permanent damage from that elevator incident.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty fucked.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
No.
At one of the, I think it was UFC Cleveland.
Yeah.
All the bunch of fighters were in this elevator that like snapped and fell. And like it didn't fall that far. It was just kind of like a shake up, and all the other fighters walked out fine, but I think maybe one other guy had a problem.
Yeah.
But Dalloway has been fucked up for a while now, and he's saying his doctors are not recommending surgery for the problem and that it's going to be a problem for the rest of his life.
Wow. And what's the problem? Neck injury?
Neck or back or something, I can't remember. I think he should sue the fucking Cleveland stadium that he was in for that shit. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's terrible. Next fight.
John Dodson versus Pedro Munoz. That's a good fight.
The
This
magician.
could be really,
Oh,
This could
wasn't
be
that
a
fight
good
already
fight.
supposed to happen?
Yeah. Wasn't, somebody was injured.
I can't remember which one of them. Was it an injury or was it some
Are
other
you-
shit?
Are you saying that Munoz is stepping in, or is it Dodson that's stepping
No,
in?
No,
they were supposed to fight each other.
Yeah, before.
Oh, they were supposed to fight a while.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Yeah, they were supposed to fight each other at UFC Fight Night 125, and it says Munoz missed weight.
And Dodson refused to fight him.
That's right, Dodson refused to fight him.
Wow. Well, at least they're gonna fight now.
Yep,
Is what it is.
yep, that was at the Machida Anders card.
Yeah.
It's a good fight though.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good fight.
Munoz is crazy. Got good submissions, and Dodson's fast as hell knockout guy. So
Is he?
he's not that good anymore. But whatever.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since he's looked.
Well, he's got better takedown defense than Munoz,
Yeah.
but I mean he doesn't submit, so
Yeah, Munoz doesn't have the best take. He's another one of those guys. Crazy dangerous submissions, but doesn't have the ability to get it to the floor.
if he can somehow manage to get Dodson to the ground, then he might be able to submit him. But other than that, I think it's going to be a stand up.
Which Dodson's probably the better striker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
That's why I say
Munoz,
Probably
Dodson.
outstrike him.
Munoz is bigger, though. That should be a good fight.
Interesting.
Next one's Benil Dariush versus Alexander Hernandez, which is stepping in on late notice.
Yeah, I think Dariush is gonna
Yeah,
probably win.
I don't know too much about Hernandez.
there's not a whole lot about him.
Well, yeah, the UFC obviously doesn't have any information on him really because he's not
Yeah,
UFC guy. But I know a good amount of fighters outside of the UFC. His name's never really stood out to me. Dariush was supposed to be fighting Bobby Green, and now it's this guy. He was in LFA. His last fight was a catchweight at 160, and he fought Derek Adkins, who he KO'd in the third round.
Okay.
That's his only notable win. His only loss, though, was in 2013, and it was a split decision. But he hasn't been fighting good competition. I think Dariush probably smacks him.
yeah.
Yeah, Dariush
I can
is
see that
the
happening,
top
too.
dude.
Yeah.
What about this female fight?
Female fight,
Little
main
fight
event
about-
for the FS1 is Ashley Yoder versus Mackenzie Dern, making her UFC debut.
Yeah, let's go, Mackenzie.
Yeah, she's
She's
It
crazy.
literally says on the UFC website that this Ashley Yoder is from the Untied States. Come on, UFC, fix your website.
Untied States. It does. Country Untied States, not United States. Untied.
That's wild.
And there's no information for Dern yet. Hopefully she makes weight. And
Yeah, that's probably her biggest hill to climb in
What?
this.
what was she fighting at?
What's this fight at? Flyweight?
It's saying it's at
Why?
strawweight.
Can I ask why it is the last fight before the main card? Because neither of these are ranked fighters.
Well, Mackenzie Dern's a
Top prospect.
top
dude.
prospect. Yeah, she's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
hot
that's
too.
right.
She's hot. Right?
She's hot, so the UFC is gonna be able to market her if she wins, and she's got crazy grappling credentials. One of the best, probably, submission artists.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of her now. The name I couldn't connect the face to the name, but then I realized who we're talking about. So, but
Yeah, she's been fighting a strawweight, so it is.
she was fighting in where was she fighting beforehand?
She was in Legacy, which then turned into LFA, and then she had one fight in Invicta before coming to the UFC.
Should be exciting.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Dern looks pretty good, even though she lost. in her last couple
American
fights.
Brazilian. American Brazilian. Born 1993. March 24th.
Same year as us, too, so.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be pulling for her. She's hot. Anyway. The next fight on the main card is Kat Zingano versus Ketlin Vieira, which is probably #1 contender fight.
Yeah, I hope Kat wins. Get
I
her
am
back,
both.
get her back in the win
This
column.
could lead to a title fight. Fight is what you're saying?
I think so. There's not really much other option in that division, and Vieira's undefeated, just beat Sarah McMahon, and now if she beats Kat Zingano, I think she probably gets title shot. Zingano's beat Nunes before too, so if she gets back in the win column, it's pretty easy to campaign for a title shot.
Yeah, looking at these statistics, Vieira is just slightly more output, and
A little bit better defensively too.
Zingano is like more than twice accurate in terms of like producing significant strikes. So even though she's ranked #5, I think Zingano has a better chance against her than Vieira does. I mean, what would be the thing that would allow Vieira to beat Zingano?
Submissions, and I don't know, nothing. I think Vieira's one of those fighters that, like, nothing really stands out too much about her, but she keeps winning. I thought she was going to lose against Sarah McMahon. She submitted her. She fought Ashley Evans Smith, decisioned her, and I mean, she fought Kelly Fazholes in her UFC debut and only won a split decision. But then she decisioned Ashley Evans Smith and submitted Sarah McMahon. So, I mean, she's just one of those fighters that keeps winning.
She's kind of like Andrade. She can absorb. She's a tank.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll tank it out and outbeat. Doesn't say anything about her reach, though. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, that's a good fight, though.
Yeah, that's a good
Good way to start it off.
good pay-per-view main card.
And then two guys coming off losses here at heavyweight.
There you go.
Stefan Struve versus Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, Arlovsky's...
Fan
no,
favorite.
Arlovsky's coming off a win. I forgot. He snapped his fucking, like...
yeah.
He snapped his 5-fight losing streak in decision Junior Albini.
Yeah, which was, questionable.
It wasn't questionable. It was unanimous. Albini fought really stupidly, I think, and lost the fight. And then Stefan Struve just got killed.
Real life Wolverine. Look at that guy.
Yeah, former heavyweight champ, dude. I like Arlovsky.
Yeah.
I like Stefan Struve, too. That's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, skyscraper. It's always exciting to see him fight.
And
It could
then
be
Sean
a really fun
O'Malley.
matchup. I wonder. I would pick Arlovsky in this one, even though Struve is pretty solid. Man, they both have big records. That's a lot of fights under each.
Yeah, they're definitely two veterans. I might be leaning towards a Struve. But I don't know. Arlovsky's one of those guys you think you count him out and he comes back. I thought his career's been over 3 times now, and he comes back.
Yeah, he's a fighter. He don't give up.
Well, you guys gonna pick one or what?
I gotta throw out a pick here on this one. I'll take Struve.
Yeah, I picked Stefan Struve. Maybe by submission.
He's a little more accurate with his strikes too, and I think he probably has. I don't know if it's better chin, but
Yeah, their chins are.
they're both. I think whoever wins a good shot first. So.
Despite Arlovsky has a good defense against takedowns and whatnot.
Yeah, Arlovsky's
So
better
if-
defensively
so,
too, so
if
that's a
Struve-
little
if
worrying.
Struve could hurt him somehow, get him to the ground, he could submit him. That would be nice to see. That would be interesting.
Well, Arlovsky's got
Arlovsky might have to rely on knockout power.
a background in I'm totally blanking on the name of that martial art right now. Some Russian shit.
Russian?
Yeah. Sambo, combat sambo. He's got a background in sambo, and He submitted a couple people in his early UFC career, but then he never really uses it.
It would be interesting to see him go back to that for this fight. That'd be pretty cool.
Decent fight.
There's been a couple fights where I kind of hoped that he would go back to that, and he never did. Anyway, Sean O'Malley, next fight against Sukumtath, which after he won, everyone was, this fight will be made, even though I didn't really understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe Sean O'Malley, he could be something for the UFC if he keeps fighting and winning. But I mean, look at that.
I think that's kind of why they gave this matchup. Sukumtath is kind of.
Look at how much significant strikes he's landed per minute. That's pretty high.
Yeah, he's only had one fight in the UFC though, but I think they count the stats from the Contender Series too. I'm not sure.
Overall, it would make sense if you have to look at what the fighter has done in all of his fights. But I mean, this could be a really fun fight. Hopefully
it'll definitely be one of the probably more exciting fights to watch. But yeah, I don't know about the matchmaking.
23 years old. He's only 23.
Yep.
You know. So and then the Asian sensation here. He's from Rhode Island. Wow, what an odd place to be from. 29. So.
He had a great win in his last fight too. KO'd Luke Sanders. And then we already touched on the co-main event for this, which was Edgar versus Ortega.
Yeah.
How about a pick for this one? What are you picking?
I think I'll go Frankie. Frankie decision.
What about you, Thomas? Who are you picking for this one?
I still, I see why you guys pick Frankie Edgar, but I'm still going with Brian Ortega because to me, he's like one of the fighters that is very interesting in what he's managed to do. And look at the fighters that he's fought against and put down.
Some good guys, and he usually puts them away late too, which is...
Yeah, third round finishes. That's what he's got a streak going.
I don't know. I don't see it here, though, because Frankie Edgar's not an easy person to finish, and I think Edgar's the smarter fighter when it comes to winning rounds.
Yeah.
I think Ortega kind of lets rounds slip because he can. He knows he's going to finish the guy. But against Edgar, I think that's going to, especially over a 3-round fight, I think he lets a couple rounds slip and Edgar takes it.
Okay. So if you're looking at statistics, and we know, right? We know that Edgar is more of a he's gonna stand and fight, right? Ortega is gonna submit, right? But if you look at significant strikes, it's pretty even. Their accuracy is pretty even.
Well, the accuracy is slightly in favor of Edgar.
Might be absorbing a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something to look at too. Is Ortega is absorbing more strikes and doesn't have as good defense, which is what I was alluding to about winning the rounds.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun fight. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, that one should be good.
Yeah, they saved the card.
Interesting to note that Frankie Edgar does have a better takedown defense than Ortega.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his
heavily to his game, to Ortega's game plan. So,
I mean, Ortega always manages to get grappling opportunities, but if you look at his takedown accuracy in the UFC, it's 14.29%.
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah. That's not good at all, but he still managed to submit, which is crazy. So
Yeah, he'll jump on guys any opportunity he can.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I'm very curious to see what he has planned to do against Frank Yeager.
Yeah,
So,
it's gonna be a.
How about the main event?
I don't know. The main event was a little bit surprising to hear about, because after she fought Holly Holm, she was complaining about her hand and it hurt, right?
Well, she was also
guess
pretty
it ended
adamant
up-
that she wanted the featherweight division to be built, and now here she is fighting another bantamweight.
From another organization they brought in.
Well, okay, so this is the thing. There's female fighting divisions. They're established. There's movement in them. Things are happening, but she is like the anomaly for this. No one like her. Nothing standing in her way. Who is she actually gonna have a real fight against? I think out of all the people that she's fought since she's been in the UFC, and you guys might disagree, that Holly Holm did the best. And the only reason I say that is because she went 5 rounds with her. Yeah, she got her face beat down. She won a round. It's hard to do. This chick is crazy. She's insane. So I don't know. Did you guys see what this woman looks like, Kunitskaya?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's not going to be looking like that after this fight. She's going to have her face beaten in.
Most likely, but she's got a few good wins, and I don't see her giving Cyborg too many problems. But what I liked hearing from Cyborg was she kind of wants the division to go on after I think she's gone, and the UFC doesn't seem to care about that right now. They're not building it. They're saying there's no one out there to sign, but you see Bellator signing all these flyweights, and you can't bring in someone at 2-0 or 3-0, but they're doing that for other divisions. They're bringing in people that they brought in CM Punk for welterweight 0-0.
Yeah.
They brought in Mickey Gall 1-0. I mean, you're bringing in people like that for other divisions, but you won't do it for the women's division. There's a lot of prospects that are 2-0, 3-0 at women's featherweight and flyweight, and fuck all of them.
Yeah, there does need to be some more growth.
Yeah, I think the UFC's slipping when it's coming to matchmaking and scouting new fighters. I think they should hire me for that. I'll do it. I'll humbly accept it and be better than all the people they have now.
You can cite me as a contact. I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah. I'll send this directly to Dana.
Yeah. Should tag him in this every time.
Oh, I will.
So we got unanimously.
I think we're unanimously picking Cyborg.
Yeah, this is all Cyborg.
Good to see Kunitskaya in the UFC, but
okay, so
Too soon.
in terms of the main event and whatnot, it's hard to say that anyone other than Cyborg is gonna win. But just for the sake of being the devil's advocate, I'll say Kunitskaya.
all right. I respect it. I said she's got some good wins. She beat Tanya Evinger before, even though it got overturned, and she just beat someone to win the vacant bantamweight title, and she beat Cindy Dandoise at featherweight before, which she's pretty good. So
yeah,
I like the way they started this year out. Given what was it, literally 8 weeks worth of UFC every weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot of consecutive events.
yeah, we've had a few.
It's nice.
Because I think what they did near the end of the year, didn't they have a little bit of time off, and now there's been a bunch in a row.
Yeah.
Not even a little. It was just
It was like a week or two.
just short.
I think it was like 2.
Yeah. some shit, but they are working hard to make this year a big year for them. So if things pan out nicely, the second half of the year will be really capped off nicely. So,
well, after this one, there will be a week break between UFC events.
Yeah, and they're gonna announce the John Jones.
I think that's kind of
outcome of his hearing. And
what they're waiting for. They're probably waiting on a couple things like that, and Tyron and all of that. I think should be resolved in that week gap. That's when you need to resolve all that shit.
Yeah.
You don't have an event to tend to fix everything else.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sign me on.
What did you say?
Sorry, what were you saying?
What day did you say it was?
This event's coming up on the 3rd, and then the week after that, there's no UFC until the 17th.
Nice.
No, but I mean, his hearing.
Oh, John Jones' hearing is on, let me Google it.
It's like the 25th or 24th or something like that. Today or yesterday.
Oh, God.
So you're looking at two events in March, 3 events in April, 1 event scheduled so far in May.
February 27th, actually, so 2 days.
John
Jones' hearing will be... By the way, this is outrageous. There is betting odds for will John Jones be arrested in 2018.
Wow.
Oh, what are the odds?
Wow.
I'm going to look right now.
What are the odds?
God. You can find that bet at plus 3,500.
Wow.
That's pretty good odds, dude. I might take that.
What's he going to go to jail for, though? That should be another bet.
You can place the bet if he doesn't go to jail for, it's minus 7,000. That's the favorite, really? That he's not going to jail? Pretty shocking.
Yeah, well.
It's hard to say that he won't, though, given his track record.
I think I'm going to bet a ton of money on that he will, and I'm going to go out to New Mexico, plant some cocaine on him, and call the cops. And I win a ton of money.
Man, you just...
No one's listening to this.
Yeah, nobody is.
No, we got some viewers. We appreciate all of them, you know.
Might be like 5 of you or 10 of you or whatever.
Yeah.
You're out there.
Anyone who's listening and following us, we appreciate it.
Yeah. So is there anything else you can cover
Anything
on
else
this?
to touch on? I don't think so,
Sunday?
really. I think there's a little bit slow on news.
Stand still this week. Conor McGregor said he will fight.
Said he will fight again,
will
but
fight,
he says a lot of things. Oh, just to touch on, Jeremy Stevens tied Anderson Silva's record for most knockouts in UFC at 18. And then there's that. Alright, I think that's it.
Wrap it up.
All right.
Wrapping it up, signing off.
Yeah, episode 4.
Sounds good.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.